what is it that should appear in the cover page. Let me confess, I've looked at some of your cover pages because some of you had given me the cover pages, but they were not uniform. So what should be included in your cover page? So that is what it should have. I believe I've already shared this with you, have I? Have I shared the cover page with you? Have I shared the cover page with you? Bridget tells me no. Nyanje tells me no. Vanessa tells me unanimous that it's no. Therefore, I'm going to share it right away. But you should be conversant with what it should contain. So the cover page should have the following details. Number one, name of business. So what is the name of your business? That should be the first thing. Number two, if you have a logo, business logo, it should be included in that cover page. Number three, your business address, email, and website. Number four, the name of the institution. Like in our case, it is Technical University of Kenya. Then, now this was an area instruction when we had schools, but now the schools are gone. So what we have are faculties and departments. So in the place of school, talk of faculty and departments. Then name of the student and registration number. So what is your name and your complete registration number? To whom the business plan is presented. And note, you are not presenting it to a certain lecturer. No. You're not presenting it to me, and neither are you presenting it to Dr. Gwiri, but you are presenting it to the Technical University of Kenya Examination Board. In partial fulfillment for the requirement of the award of diploma in your area of specialization. So that is how it will read. Then you can give the name of the supervisor and the series or the date of presentation. So all these projects, the series will be February 2026. February 2026. Now, and it is also important to include unit name and course code. So unit name and course code are also very important. So at least I expect us to have uniform cover page. I expect your cover pages to have all that information. The only thing that I may not have brought out here is the unit code and the course code, but they are important. Any question on the cover page? Any question on the cover page? Are we comfortable? Well, the question Kevin Karanja is asking, how should it be aligned? I'll give a very general answer. Align it to your best. Align it to your best. Because I'm more interested in all that information. And it is good to remind you that what attracts somebody is the cover page. The aesthetic aspects of the business plan is reflected in the cover page. So before I give that mark or 2 marks for the cover page, all those details must be there. If any misses, then you are likely to get 0 mark. Any other question or comment? Muchahi David, log out, log in with your name and number. Log out and log in with your name and number. Okay, I would want to move on to the other details. We are through the cover page. So we move on to the other details. The next item is the declaration. Immediately after the cover page, if you turn over the cover page, you are going to have the declaration. The declaration is simply declares that this work is the brainchild of a certain student. So I'll expect it to read as follows. On the part of the student, because declaration is on one page and it has 2 sides, the part of the student and the part of the supervisor. On the part of the student, it will read, I declare that this is my original work and it has not been presented to any other institution for the award of a diploma or a degree. Then you have the full names of the student, the full registration number. You should leave a signature and date. If you can sign online, fine. If you can't, you can just simply put the initials and the date. On the part of the supervisor, because the declaration is, it will read like as follows. This business plan project has been presented to the TUC examination board with my position as a supervisor. Then you'll put the name of the supervisor, leave a room for signature and leave a room for date. When you are dealing with hard copies, we will sign. If it is marking through the soft copy, you will sign the hard copy because you're supposed to present a soft copy and a hard copy. After the declaration, the third page has got 2 aspects. It has a paragraph on acknowledgements and another one on dedication. Starting with acknowledgements. That page acknowledges or recognizes and appreciates those who assisted you when developing the business plan project. Who assisted you, and you feel that you owe to them because of their assistance or their support. So this is where you acknowledge them. The other paragraph, it is to whom do you dedicate this piece of work? Dedication is slightly deeper than acknowledgement. because somebody whose contribution is invaluable. So whom do you dedicate? Preferably, those two should appear on one page. Then after that, you go to the next page. It is a table of contents. Now, this table of contents should include all the chapters and their subheadings as given in class. I've noted that for some people, when I was marking, I've noted that for some people, they had not paged their work. Others were not following the given subheadings in class. So here you don't have a choice. You must follow those subheadings that were given in class. So it will have the 5 chapters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But before the chapters, it will start with the executive summary. When you are presenting the contents of a chapter, these were taught using the subheadings that were given. So 1.0, for example, is business description. That is chapter 1. 1.1 will be business name. 1.2 is business location, and so on. There are quite a number of people have told annotate your work as guided. There are very many different versions of documenting that work and annotating it. So please use the format given in class. So for example, the very last one should be 5.1. That is desired financing. Is it desired financing or, yeah, desired financing. And it should follow the order as the business plan is developed. Any question on the table of contents? Very, very important. Everybody page your work. And the paging must conform to what is outlined in the table of contents. Then the last bit is the executive summary. The executive summary should be brief, not more than 2 pages in total. And it should summarize the 5 chapters very briefly. And you have to be very careful when you're developing the executive summary. You do not summarize the table of contents, but you summarize the substance of the chapter. Here you have to be very careful because there are people who have a tendency to summarize the table of contents rather than the chapter substance. What do I mean by that? For example, if you are summarizing business description, because the executive summary will have 5 very brief paragraphs, and each paragraph should have a subheading, like a subheading to begin with business description. How do you summarize the chapter and not the table of contents? If you summarize the table of contents, you are telling me chapter 1 contains business name, location, blah, 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 justification, industry. Now, that is not what I want. I want a summary of the business description in a flash. For example, you can have a summary like the business name is called, it is located where, it will commence when, it was started because of the need of a certain need, or because of a gap that you believe existed within that locality. That basically summarizes the business. If it is a marketing plan, what I should see is your market catchment area. That is where does, and then your main customers, your target market share, and your competitive strategy. How do you intend to draw a marketing strategy that is going to outdo your competitors? How do you intend to beat your competitors? That is a summary of a marketing plan. Similarly, the organization and management plan. How big is your team? Your team, that is the number of employees. Who are the key personnel? What about their qualifications? Do you intend to recruit people who are already trained, or will you train on the job? Big emphasis in as far as the recruitment policy is concerned. And also mention your style of management, because management style is so critical, because it determines how motivated your employees are. When it comes to chapter 4, the production plan, mention your production strategy. Maybe you can talk of the main facilities, the total cost of production facilities, your main production strategy, and probably you can mention the key steps in your production process. When it comes to chapter 5, the financial plan, mention how much you require and where you are and the sources of this money. Mention your expected profitability ratios and break-even levels. So that at least somebody can know at what level are you intending to break even. And break even level usually comes together with both the time, the quantity, and the time. So very briefly, I've just tried to elaborate on what is the executive summary. After that, you go straight to the chapters: chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5. And the very last, if you have appendices, sometimes you find that you may have some appendices. For example, maps, designs. Those ones come later in a business plan, because in business planning, we rarely have any references. And that marks the end of the business plan. Any question? Maswali? Daniel Muchai, I told you to log out and log in using your name and number. Meanwhile, you can either ask a question or you type, like I can see Mboro typing. Any question? Any other question? As we wait for Mburu to finish typing. Okay, Mburu, I answer your question. The layout of your business premises, you are supposed to draw it below the table of production facilities and capacity. After that table, and after seeing whether the plans for repair and maintenance, you should come to the layout immediately. Another question? Otherwise, I'm impressed at the pace at which you are presenting your work. I'm happy most of you are on course, very much on course, save for one person or two who seem to have a belief that it cannot be done. And therefore, they have put mental obstacles ahead of them. In business planning, if you want to succeed, you must clear that fog. I call it fog because it is normally intended. Clear the doubts. Do it because it's so simple, although it's a bit taxing. A bit taxing, but it's not difficult. Focus, do the right thing. I've already gone through the work of at least 22 of you. That is quite impressive. In fact, everybody who presented his work up to yesterday, save for one or two people, I've looked at the work and I've given a comment. But for some of you, I've not looked at it because sometimes you presented it in PDF. We normally present it in plain Word, not in PDF version, because PDF is not editable. And we mark through editing. So take a look at that. If I've not marked your work because it's in PDF, we convert it to Word and send it to me in plain PDF. If you have an issue, you have my contacts. So you should always contact me. Should always contact me. Others, they have presented work without their numbers. Like Samuel Ndungu, Nathan Chalo. Among others. Even Nyanje. I don't know your number yet. So all those corrections make. I'm told Dr. Ngwede this morning told me that the exams are starting on 2nd. So by the time we are starting exam, everything should be submitted, because within the first 3 days, I'll be marking those business plans. So if I've looked at your work, you can move ahead and make the corrections. That is why I've even given you for the instructions for the extras. Financial plan we discussed last time. Is that correct? Is that correct? Nyanje, Vanessa, we did discuss that in the last lesson. So please do the right thing. Now I've given you Are we comfortable? So because I taught you these last 2 chapters and these extras, my name will appear as a supervisor, although I know you may have started with Dr. Ngwiri. Are we okay? Do I log out? Do I end the lesson? Tuko sawa? Are we okay? Any pressing issue? Elias Njeru, log out, log in using your name. Elias Njeru. And Njeru, I had quite a number of issues with you. Is it you? No, not exactly you. But log in and log out and log in using your name and number. Now, in case somebody has not brought in his or her work, know that the element of supervision from my side is out. If you read through the declaration, I'm only supposed to forward this mark with the these marks are only supposed to be Kelvin Karanja, Elias Jeru, Ivonne Naeli, Faith Theophilus, Agnes Mutiso, Fabian Oku, Samuel Mongai, Kennedy Kamunziu, Bridget Katwiri, Daniel Nje, Simi, Nathan Crispin, Nicodemus Kiprotich. There are two more whose work I've not looked through, but I've not marked because, yeah, cannot remember the names. But I know my target of the day, in as far as market was concerned, anybody with a current nearby. So we can give our deadline for handing in the business as January 30th. January 30th. So 30th January 2026. That is when we over. So tell everybody 30th. And the other thing is that Anje and class that I'm using to assess already should be in those class lists. So send me copies of your class list immediately. Send me copies of the class list immediately. Okay, I can quit. I can end the class now. Seems you're comfortable.